Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Tech Desk podcast. My name is Dale.
I'm Jake.
And we are here in the Fuse Room podcast suite. And I want to introduce our new student convener, Tim Fox. He's given us a little bit of a video about the green room.
What an awesome little video that was. That was incredible.
I'm still wanting to dance. That was great.
That was great.
That was 7 weeks worth of pre-production for the video alone.
Yeah.
Introducing Tim Fox, our student convener. How are you going?
Very good. Thank you for having me on.
Let's start with the big pressing question.
Okay.
What is your role as student convener?
Very good question. And here is a very good answer. So I'll start with an anecdote because I think this is the easiest buy-in point. When I was at uni many, many moons ago, I completely fluffed it. So it took me...
Relatable.
So relatable.
It took me the equivalent for my bachelor. It took me about 4.5 years to do a 3-year degree. Right? And looking back on it, it's not because I wasn't, talented. It wasn't because I wasn't passionate about the class or the course itself. Just because I didn't have anyone there to help guide me when I needed to. Like someone to point me in the right direction, someone to kind of check in, see how I was going, not tracking progress, but just being a check-in point.
Yeah.
That is what my role is for every student, from every department, from every discipline here, is just a check-in point to just make sure everyone's on track. If anyone has any, issues, no matter how minor or major, come to me and I can either point you in the right direction or help you out with whatever you need help with.
Yeah.
I'll be putting on a bunch of additional workshops to help with specific work practices, developing study skills, all of that sort of stuff. So I'd like to say I am the Gandalf to every student's Bilbo.
But Gandalf the white or Gandalf the grey?
But I'm well aware that I probably best suit a Gimli type. So take it for what it's worth. I'm a mentor type.
Yeah.
Whatever that type is, fair dues.
That's really, really awesome because it is definitely something that I felt I needed as a university student when I was here at SAE 7 or so years ago. It was something that wasn't really around. And it's really great to see that there are people who are stepping up into that role to be able to guide, a lot of the lost souls that are around campus, for the lack of a better term. But yeah, you got any questions further? I think Tim...
we've heard that there's a few other support roles around on campus, and I've heard you've used this soldiers in battle kind of analogy, and I want you to talk to us a little bit about that.
Awesome. Yeah. So first up, I love analogies. They're my favourite thing in the world. So yes, and you're absolutely right, Dale. There are many different people on campus to help with a variety of different things. So we come up with this soldiers in battle analogy. Who should we start with? Let's take, students, imagine you're going into war, right? You're going into battle. There are specific things you need to prep yourself to make it through. It's going to turn bleak unless I work to make it not so.
We can do bleak.
I'll make it less Normandy and more
Helm's Deepy.
More Helm's Deepy. Exactly right.
I don't know which is worse, to be honest.
But we've got Elena. So think of Elena, student services. You'll know who Elena is because she's responsible for about 80% of the joy on this campus. She's the first person that you meet when you come through the doors. But she's student services. Consider student services as base camp, where you rock up to get your briefing, your timetables, where you can kind of find out what your mission objectives are in regards to classes. You can think of me as the convener as, I guess, corporal, admiral, whatever. It sounds like I'm beefing myself up here.
Oh, that deserved beefing, I think.
I'm going to do no push-ups.
So disappointing. We were really hoping for a good 10-minute segment of just...
But this is where, group training, check-in points, that's where that comes into play. Now, we've also got Craig, the student support advisor.
Yep.
Think of Craig as the infirmary. So any soldiers who, get their legs blown off.
Yep.
Let's probably
scale that one back.
I love blowing student legs off.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing to do.
Like it's hard to go in and out of the analogy.
Yeah.
But so we'll take Craig, who is the student support advisor, the infirmary.
Yep.
So for any students who are struggling with anything specific, they can go and see Craig to get that targeted support. But we also have Cara, our learning advisor, who is probably, you could consider it as combat skills development. So if there's a specific practical skill, like let's take the analogy, for example, say if you need development in sniper rifling.
I'm loving the analogies on
we have in the armory.
Totally.
Yeah. That's your film. That's your film degree. The sniper rifle.
You can book an appointment with Cara to get specific tailored academic support in specific things. So for me, more group training, group support. For the learning advisor, it's targeted things that you're needing assistance with. Like if we kind of jump out of the analogy, it could be things like referencing, researching, how to formulate a thesis statement if you're writing, a project for one of your theory units. You've got Craig, student support advisor, to help with any issues or struggles, and you've got student services at the front to help with changing modules, all of that jazz.
Yeah. So if a student is having some issues on campus and they're not quite sure who to go to talk to, is it okay if they come to you and can you point them in the right direction?
Absolutely. I think that's the key point here. Come see me first.
Yep.
For two reasons. One, I'll be able to know who to point the student in, who to direct the student to. But secondly, one of my favourite things, if not my favourite thing to do in the world, is have a cup of tea and have a yarn. So come to me, have a cup of tea, sit on the couches, tell me what you need help with, and then we can take it from there.
Linking that one forward to having a cup of tea and sitting on the lounges, let's have a little chat about the green room.
Yeah, it looks pretty sick. Hey?
It's incredible, absolutely incredible. There have been
I'm going to move my office there. It looks so good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
There are a lot of students who have already begun using that space and really filling it out. It's really, really been cool to see. What was your inspiration behind setting up that green room?
Awesome. The main inspiration is I hate technology, which is probably not the best place to be working. No, all jokes aside, it's not that I hate technology. It's that I know, the implications that living in a tech world bring or cause.
Yep.
So, we're looking at so many screens on a daily basis. We're using, students are using lots of technology in the classroom. It can just get overwhelming.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
The green room is essentially a space that every student can come to be able to just relax or focus or be present. With the option of studying, we've still got computers in there.
Yep.
Students can bring laptops in. We've got a range of varied ways that you can sit down and study and use the space.
Yeah.
We've got bean bags, we've got desks, we've got high tables so people can stand and do readings, amazing couches, armchairs, to kind of tailor an environment that best suits every student's optimal learning environment. Does that make
absolutely.
sense?
Yeah, absolutely, it does. Would you say that it's a good space to do maybe quite collaborative works and things like that? Like
Totally. Like there's always music playing, so it's something in the background, just so it doesn't feel empty. But yeah, lots of space for students to come and do group meetings, continue discussions that they've been having in class, do project work together. Even just, like I say, sitting on the couch with your friends, having a cup of tea. We've got a coffee machine in there now.
the best part of the room, I think.
Totally. I made a point in that video just to end on that.
Yeah.
There is an endless supply. I should be careful about saying that.
How much budget do we have for our coffee
what I should
pods?
say is there is teas and coffees like all the time for students to come and use, and biscuits as well. And this might be a bold claim. Digestives, McVitie's, the optimum biscuit for a cup of tea.
100%.
Arnott's, the brand, will not be showing face in that green room at all. And I'm sorry, I know that's going to cause some, yeah. Anyway.
I've changed my mind immediately
Get
on
out.
the green room now. Yeah, please just leave the podcast, sweeper. No, but no, that's awesome. I've heard there might also be some events and some workshops and stuff being held. In
Totally. So one of the uses of the green room is, we're going to use it as a space to put on workshops to help with, students' studies, practical supports, because I think that's the main thing is, it's good to have support to help with your studies, but if it's not like solution based or it's not giving you practical things to follow, it can just feel just not very valuable.
Yeah, a little bit empty.
Correct. So that's what I want to focus on, trying to put on workshops that actually have practical outcomes and things that students can take away, practical things they can apply to their studies. But also, a bunch of just, casual events.
Yep.
Can I do a plug? This is the first one I've got.
You can
going.
absolutely do a plug. Go ahead.
I did a printout, but I didn't realise how far the camera was going to be away. So, Dale,
Hang on.
would you hold this one for me?
Oh, I'm going to put it up. Hang on.
Okay, cool. So this is my first initiative. It's very British, but it's Tea is for Tuesday. So every Tuesday at 11:30 and then at 2, we're going to be doing just a tea break for half an hour. So every student who's in the green room, sit down, have a cup of tea, some bickies, sit down, relax, switch off from the screens, from the tech, talk to someone. The student council will be there week in, week out as well, so you can meet them, tell them about any ideas or initiatives that you might have for other things or for improvements around the campus. So yeah, Tea is for Tuesday is going to, because Tuesday, in the past has been my least favourite day of the week. It's like the Bjork of the week.
The Bjork of the week.
If a weekday was a musician,
It'd be 100. No, I feel it. I feel it.
But yeah, it's going to be my favourite day of the week. Just sitting down, having a cup of tea, and just chilling.
That sounds amazing and truly wholesome, and I can't wait for the first Tea is for Tuesday.
Oh, 100%. Now, the green room has sort of become a little bit your office now as well. So that's where students can find you most of the time is in that space in
Correct.
the green room.
So I'm in the back corner. It's primarily the green room is for the students. So like I'm just there, obviously so I'm easy to reach, but I'll be in there every Tuesday and Wednesday 9 to 5, every Thursday from 9 a.m. till 12 p.m, and then every Friday 11 a.m. till 2 p.m.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on and giving us this little talk, and also giving a demonstration of what some of the other lecturers, some of the other campus staff can really do with this space and with this podcast that we've started.
Awesome.
It's absolutely been incredible to have you here and doing this. I'm a little bit disappointed. We had a small task for Tim when we began.
Did I not hit it?
I counted. You counted 4. I counted 3.
Oh, damn.
We need one more before you go, at least.
Okay. Should I give context as to what I'm trying to do?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Okay. All right. Here's. let's do it.
It's a bit different when you put on the spot, isn't it?
Okay. Samwise. It's going to be so blatant what I'm doing. Samwise is the most underrated character, not only in the Lord of the Rings franchise, but in every piece of fiction, narrative, story ever. If it weren't for Samwise, it would have all gone to
Bollocks.
Exactly
We've
right.
all gone to bollocks, and you're 100%
And
correct.
Frodo is just, he's just the worst.
Frodo is a second-rate character, and we all need a Samwise in our
We
life.
all need a Samwise, and maybe Tim can be that Samwise in your
He
life.
can carry you up that volcano.
Yeah.
I'll try.
So yeah, but we had a task for Tim to make 5 Lord of the Rings references throughout
and I
this.
failed.
See if you. Well, we were very close.
I believe
close.
the word he used was easy.
He certainly did. And look, if you can go back and find them all, feel free to clip them out of the YouTube video and send them directly to him.
Brilliant.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tim.
No, dude, thank you. This is this is my first podcast ever.
It's awesome, isn't it?
You did a fantastic job.
Upstanding.
Cool.
All right, so moving on, we have a little bit of an exciting thing that Morgan and I did yesterday. We've got some Sony FX6s.
That's
Wrong
the wrong
one. We're
Oh,
professionals.
dear.
So we did a little bit of an unboxing of these FX6 cameras, and I think we can load up a little.
Hi, I'm Morgan. You might remember me from such classes as FLM 171, FLM 173, or FLM 213, which is what we're here to talk about today. We're looking at the new cameras for Stage 2, Trimester 4, FLM 213, which is documentary. It's the unit that I take, that I love. We have some brand new gear that we're going to have a look at. We're going to open it up today, put it all together, have a look at the bits, and kind of talk about what it is, I suppose. So let's get into it. We have the body here. Brand new Sony FX6 camera. Some bits and pieces at the top that are mostly essential for charging and USB connectivity. And it looks like powerage. The FX6 does have a number of ports on it. It's got HDMI, USB, SDI, and a few others on there for all your connectivity needs.
Beautiful.
So you can find the rest of that video on our channel. We'll be uploading it shortly. And
That's,
the link.
that's not correct. That's not correct, actually. We've had a little change in what's going on. This one is going to be used as a demonstration as to what the lecturers can do around the campus with us, alongside us with this podcast. We can do demonstrations and things like that with new equipment, with any of the old equipment, anything that you're interested in. Feel free to let us know. It'll all go up onto the YouTube, like Dale was saying. It will eventually make its way there. But this was just primarily used as a demonstration. We didn't have much time to film and edit it before the podcast actually came up. So it's a little bit raw. But yeah, no, absolutely. All this stuff will be uploaded. I think Morgan and I have planned doing a unboxing of the equipment once we've got it all together. So we'll be redoing that again. But just as a demonstration for now, we've got that little video just to show you guys what we can kind of do with this space, with the equipment on campus. It's all great fun.
Amazing. And now we're going to talk about some of the events that are happening around on campus. So as of today or yesterday when the podcast goes live, we have Game of Threads on campus. Now, Game of Threads has a whole bunch of stuff going on. It's really, really crazy. It's organized by Craig Carpenter. Just a few things we've got going on. We've got a cosplay competition. We've got a D&D one-shot. We've got gaming on the big screen, which is gaming in the lecture theatre. Then we're going to be watching Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which is the best Spider-Man movie. FYI, go watch it.
I would argue 100%.
Well, you can argue, but you're wrong. And then we've got
Rainy
some
forever.
VR gaming, some board games, a Switch party, and if you're from the 90s, a LAN party. And I'm here for that. Some other events we have coming up is we've got the community feast. Now, this will be happening on the 3rd of October, and this is
one
pizza.
of the community feasts that we have coming up. There are a couple, as you can see on the picture at the moment. There's one on the 3rd of October. We're mostly covering what's happening over the next 2 weeks. So we've got one on the 3rd of October, which is the Domino's Pizza Party.
Yeah, and then we've got some animation burritos in the park, which is happening the day after on Wednesday, the 4th of October. We have our next community feast, which will be Me Goring on Tuesday, the 10th of October. Before we continue on, how do you cook your mee goreng? I'm putting you on the spot here.
I don't. I haven't had mee goreng in years.
Oh.
In literal years.
I'm not going to entertain that response.
I had somebody
Moving
come up.
along, we have an animation quiz battle on the 12th of October. And something else that's super important, from the 9th of October to the 15th of October is the World Mental Health Awareness Week. I guess check in on your friends, check in on everybody that you speak to. It's super important. Mental health is a really, really big thing, and it's not talked about enough. So
100%. And like Tim was saying, there's a whole heap of people around campus you can go and talk to if you're having issues with your classes, with your courses, or even in your personal life. Feel free to go around and have a chat to anybody on that list of people that Tim threw out today.
Absolutely. Or even come past the tech desk and talk to us.
100%.
We're always willing to listen. It's super important to make sure you get all the bugs out.
Absolutely.
Now, we're going to talk about a little bit about the podcast suite now, and I'll throw over to Jacob.
All right, so we mentioned on the pilot episode of this podcast that this is now a bookable room for you guys. In the announcement for the podcast episode was a link that was hidden in there a little bit. If you click on the Here button, you will be brought to a Google, what do they call Google Form, thank you, which will allow you to fill out, give us the information that we need to be able to teach you how to use the space. And then from then on, you can use it whenever it's free, whenever it's not like booked out. And that's available to all students, all lecturers, all staff across campus. Just as long as you fill out that form, flick us an email, we'll get back to you on when our training days are. Students especially, as you can see, there is a fair amount of work that goes into creating these podcasts, creating a lot of the content that we do around campus. And we would like to give you the opportunity to get involved in what we do. So whether that means coming and sitting in on one of these podcast recording sessions, or you want to do one of those unboxing videos with Morgan, or maybe have a look at the ARIA mirrors with Rob, or have a look at one of the studios with Michael Unwin or somebody like that around campus, feel free to flick us an email at the tech desk for the time being, or come and talk to us at the tech desk. We would be more than happy to get you involved. That goes out to everybody, whether it's animation, gaming, design, audio, music, film, everybody. We would be more than happy to have you all involved in this whole process, because it's something that's new to us, something that we're learning at the moment. Oh goodness, I just completely lost my train of thought. It's something that we'd really love to see a lot of you involved in, and any of the lecturers as well. If you wanted to come on here and give a little speech like Tim did this morning, and he absolutely smashed it, I think, for his very first podcast.
Absolutely, that was amazing. Thank you so much, Tim, again for coming along. But before we tie up here, please make sure you watch this video, give it a like, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and most importantly,
the future is you.